What were your expectations going into Escape Room?
Bad,
Really?
but not terrible. Like, a watchable bad.
Oh, okay. See, I was going in expecting it to be pretty gosh darn bad.
Yeah.
As in awful in every way. I thought there was little to no way that this movie could be good. But hey, you know what? Maybe on accident it was great.
You were right.
You know how it's structured, good old buddy, old pal. We talk about the thing that's smaller first, so do you want to talk about what we liked?
Yeah, let's talk about what we
Immediately
liked.
give away what we think about it.
I think the rooms were actually very interesting.
Yes, as a big fan of puzzles and brain teasers,
Exactly.
That was a guilty pleasure for me seeing them try and figure out what the problem is. And I fucking solved one as soon as it came up. It was the You'll Go Down in History one, and I immediately...
Okay, no offense. That one's not that hard.
I know, but they said they needed a 7-letter word, and I was like, oh, it's Rudolph.
It's Rudolph. My initial thought was history, and then I was like, no, it's Rudolph. Mm-hmm. I think the Upside Down room was my favorite.
That was pretty interesting.
Because,
yeah.
like, it had the most subtleties going on, because there was not a lot of it in this film. But, like, if you listened every time the music started back up, it would go, listen to the music. Have that tone, and then the floor would... Yeah, so I really liked that room. All the rooms in general, if I'm being completely honest, were fantastic to watch.
Yeah.
Except for the hypno room.
That was kind of shit.
Yeah.
I felt like they kind of just threw that in there to end it in a dumb way. Like, oh,
Yeah.
we're running out of budget, make everything all
No, I think
blurry
they
and
went,
terrible.
oh shit, there's still too many people left.
Let's unfocus the camera and throw the actors at each other.
That wasn't even a puzzle.
I know.
It wasn't even a puzzle. Like, the other rooms were puzzles. That was
know.
just, like, a rave.
Other things I liked. Deborah Ann Will is in it at all. I hope she gets an acting career.
Karen Page, yeah, she's,
I hope she gets a movie career.
she's pretty good.
Since Daredevil's fucking over, rest in peace. That was another part.
We are both massive Daredevil fans.
Yeah.
Disclaimer.
Putting aside talking about the movie itself, I got a big... Watching this movie for me personally, and probably you too, was just a big salt in the wound on Daredevil being over now. And
Yeah, but Deborah Ann Wall, Karen Page, I feel like she did a pretty good job with what she was given. I won't say she killed the role or anything.
No, I agree completely.
But she did a good job. She was a lot better than a few other actors in this movie who we will get to.
We will definitely get to the rest of them, yes. What else did you like?
When the three main characters were opening their puzzle boxes, I like that because it cuts back and forth between all three of them, and you see the ways they think. Entrepreneur guy, he's watching a YouTube video. The girl, the college girl,
She's smart enough.
She's smart enough that she can figure it out on her
Takes
own.
notes of it.
And then the
Alcoholic.
I'm gonna call him the junkie. The junkie guy's just beating on it with it. He's using his brute force. He's using his mind. So I really like that. That was a really, I think, subtle and effective way to show the three thought processes of them.
I agree. I gotta say that position right there, disregarding everything before it, which we'll talk about.
Yep.
That little section right there was actually really well done. I really liked the production value. I liked the visuals. Everything looked gorgeous. Nothing looked fake or stupid.
Nothing looked fake.
Very few things look fake or
A
stupid.
few things look stupid.
There was green screen when they were in the cold place. Like, it was really kind of obvious in some shots. But other than that, I think it was really well done as far as, like, movie production value goes. More positives. The black guy was really muscular. Rockin' bod. I aspire to be that one day.
Yeah, same. I think that's the end of the positives.
I think that's the end of the positives, yeah.
There are a few interesting things.
We'll talk about positives to get to them, but do you want to start us off with negatives? Or should
Okay,
I?
let's start with negatives. This movie opens with the end of the puzzles.
Yeah.
That bothered me so much.
It's not even a spoiler because the first opening scene is the last survivor of this whole movie
Going through the final puzzle
going
of the
through
game.
the final puzzle of the game.
Are you fucking serious?
And I thought, at a certain point they might be divided up to see who wins and who
Yeah,
dies.
I was like, oh.
And they cherry picked the best scene to put it in front. But that's not what happened. They
No.
just gave away the ending.
They gave
of
away the
movie.
plot.
Right.
Bothered me so much. And there's a plot twist later that kind of recounts it, but that plot twist also sucks. Can I talk about it?
In just a moment, because I want to talk more about what would have made more sense if the fucking guy with the glasses with the games and the phone, if he snuck it in, if that guy was the villain, because everyone else had some kind of introductory moment or backstory or scene, and he didn't, so I assumed, he could be the games master, and he's talking about the games master the whole time.
He's also the most annoying character, so you could think he's like putting on a persona.
Exactly, but there's actually no reason that the movie didn't give him any backstories, because the movie was lazy to actually not do it that way.
They gave him one throwaway line about him surviving carbon monoxide poisoning in his house, but like, who fucking cares?
It doesn't factor into anything, doesn't matter to anything at all. It's just they slacked in that area and only gave actual proper visual storytelling for the main three.
I'd argue main four.
You can't even argue the main three because the main characters kept shit. It's just about the little girl mainly. And by the way, the writing for all the characters, especially in the beginning,
sucks.
Awful.
Some of the worst writing I've ever heard.
It's like someone who's trying to break into the screenwriting industry.
My favorite
wrote
line,
a script and was like, "This is good."
My favorite line of that movie was the black guy Jason. His name's Jason. I remember this. Jason has a very big scar on his right arm.
Yep.
And I think Danny, Four Eyes, the fucking computer nerd kid,
Yep.
goes, "How do you play video games?" Fuck you. Fuck you, that's a terrible line. Nobody speaks like that.
No one
Fuck
talks
you.
like that. That's the problem with the dialogue. It feels unnatural and robotic. It's almost like
there's
a
a
machine.
there's a scene where they all turn on each other. Makes no sense. Very unprompted. Or the scene, let's talk about this one. So in the trailer, this is in the trailer, there's a key in a block of ice.
Okay.
So you think, oh, they have to find some sort of ice pick to open it. No, they just thaw it with their own body heat.
Yeah, they put their hands on it and melt it over the course of 2-3 hours.
Had to be several hours. Ice does not melt that quick, and even then, have you ever put your hands on ice for a long period of time? Sure, it'll melt it a little bit, on the surface, but your hands are gonna get cold because you're transferring the heat away.
You're gonna lose feeling in
can't-
your fingers.
You can't just hold a block of ice for hours. Your fingers are gonna go numb. Body heat does not work like that. They had a chance to be clever and be like, oh, we need to find the ice pick now.
Or like a sledgehammer. 'Cause
Or
it's a
literally-
a solid square cubic foot of ice.
It looks like it's at least just shy of a foot. And they
yeah.
melt it all the way down. Are you fucking serious? That was the second I'm like, this movie sucks. At that point, you were completely
I was checked out already.
You were checked out. I was at least riding a little bit of it's not going to be the worst. It's not going to be the worst. And then that happened. I was like, no, this is actually as bad as I think it is.
Both of our number one of the years, by the way.
Both of our
'cause
number by
default. Because this is the only one we've seen.
Christening the new year. To be fair, though, that is immediately followed up by what I think is the best puzzle, which is the upside down bar.
That's pretty cool too.
That one was a great puzzle.
The other part about that, the whole filmmaking side of it, is that the ADR was really apparent.
Oh yeah, there were
Bad.
some scenes where characters were dubbed over, and sure, their backs to the camera, but the way they're moving, you can tell they're not talking.
So a lot of time with ADR with movies, especially blockbusters and stuff, whenever it's apparent to me, I always rerun it in my head to hear it over and over again, and I'll take out the ADR in my mind. And when you do that, the scene is done visually. It's like the director knew what to do and placed, because when she was trying to find the North Star is a lie, she reads it aloud, and that's fine, because that's what you would do if you're reading something trying to survive. And then she's walking past the polar bear, and it turns, and that's when you visually realize, oh, that's what that means. And then she says out loud, oh, it's a lie, therefore something's in here. Something really fucking explaining the plot like that.
Yeah.
They inserted that afterwards so that dumb audience members can
I
understand.
actually didn't catch the magnet thing until you just explained it.
Well,
that
the
is
thing
so clever.
Right?
That's what I mean. This movie has clever moments. There are some really clever moments, like when they have the x-rays of the broken hands, and you pointed out that's sign language.
Yeah.
That was so clever.
That was so cool, right?
Oh my god.
It
There are
feels like-
so many clever scenes in this movie ruined by the characters. This movie would have been great if literally anybody else was in it, because the
felt like-
characters suck.
It felt like there was a director behind this, like a real good director, and he was like, or at least an okay one. And the producers and the executives are like, you know what? This scene is a good piece of art, or at least palatable.
We don't explain it enough.
Yeah, to make it accessible to the teens that are just making out in the theaters every 10 minutes looking at the screen, we gotta make sure the characters explain everything that's happening over
Literally
and over again.
explain everything.
Yeah. Nothing,
No,
everything that's
there were
visual,
some-
just to say out loud anyway.
There were some really clever scenes in this movie. There were, and then they ruined them by explaining what was going on.
100%. It's just like with the establishing shots of a city. We were making the joke like, oh yeah, well,
They didn't tell us what city we're in.
I'm so panicked.
The second they told us, boom, Chicago, Illinois.
thank goodness. I was
Why
lost.
do you feel like we need to fucking know that? It doesn't matter that they're in
Chicago, Illinois.
Who fucking cares
doesn't
that they're
change
in
anything.
Chicago? Literally changes nothing about the
Oh,
movie.
how about the sequel bait ending?
Sequel bait ending. Okay, let's talk
Oh.
about the sequel bait ending. At the end of this movie, I was feeling like, okay, this could definitely be a guilty pleasure movie for me. Like Mortal Engines. Like, I know it's bad. I know it's real bad. But I
Yep.
enjoyed it because I did. And then the movie keeps fucking going. They have the classic, oh, there's no evidence that they were ever even really here because the two survivors make it out and tell the police. I was like, okay, fine. And then she realizes, like, it's his name. It's his name. And then it cuts to, 6 months later. And she's like, look at all this evidence that I found. These are coordinates. I'm like, where did you get these coordinates from? This makes no fucking
It's
sense.
the logo of the company. The super secretive company that can evade police evidence.
Just put
the coordinates to their establishment in the logo of their
logo.
company.
like it feels like the entire ending was
Like,
completely.
what if Donald Trump in the Trump Tower in like the T put his social security number
or the nuke codes?
or the new code or something retarded like that? You would not broadcast it, even if it's like a special puzzle. You don't broadcast
That's
it.
just jerking yourselves off. So,
Exactly.
anyways, then it cuts to this plane crash, and it's like a puzzle. I'm like, oh god, they're sequel baiting it. And then it turns out it's a simulation being run by the people who run them, and they're like, we'll be ready for her this time, referring to the main character. And I'm like,
Oh no!
oh my god, Jesus Christ, sequel baited to hell. It feels like the ending of Predator, where like this is clearly reshot because the audience didn't like the original ending.
And
That's
they need
what-
to add it in to make them go, "Woo! I'm excited for Escape Room 2."
I'm not excited for Escape Room. I hope
No,
this
me
movie doesn't
neither.
get a sequel. This movie should have ended with what are their names? Ben and Lily. I'm gonna call her Lily. I don't even fucking care what her real.
Hot take: this movie shouldn't have started. I
The
fucking
movie
hate it.
should have just ended with Ben and whatever the fuck her name was. I'm gonna call her Lily.
I
Ben
doubt
and
it'll-
Lily just walking out. Just end the movie because Jesus Christ.
I doubt it'll be one of the worst of the year.
No,
it'll
I
be one
don't-
of. I don't know if it'll be like.
I
top
don't.
three or
I don't.
anything.
I honestly don't think I'm gonna make. I know it's very early in the year, so I'm making a bold prediction, but I don't think it's gonna be the worst movie I see this year. I don't think it's gonna be on my like dishonorable mentions list, as it were.
It might be on mine, maybe,
But
but
I can tell you, by the time we've seen the 11th movie this year, this movie's coming off my top 10 list.
very true. I agree with that. A dumpster
For
fire.
the people listening, we auto sort our top 10 list with the first movie we see, so literally the only movie on our top 10 list, and our 2019 watch list in general, is Escape Room. And then next week, whatever movie we see will automatically go on that list too, and so on and so forth.
Well, next week we have our top 10 list for our show.
For 2018.
And for 2018, top 10 movies of the year. And then the week after that, we're going to do literally a mini review of every single movie we've seen that year.
I don't know about you, but I've seen 50 movies, and counting.
Oh, God, I've seen more than that. And I still want to see 9 more.
I still want to see like 6 or 7 more.
So we're just going to powerhouse through those over the next week. Good luck.
Oh, hang on. You're missing something.
What am I missing?
10 out of 10.
Oh, out of 10. I forgot. Good God.
I'll start.
You'll start.
I'm feeling a 3. There were some things in this movie that I enjoyed, and like I said, it's a guilty pleasure movie. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy the DVD, I'm gonna burn a copy, I'm gonna chop off the ending, and then I'll put it on a blank DVD and title it Real Escape Room.
I thought you were going to buy a DVD and then cut it up and try and refigure the puzzle and to see the coordinates of the company that made this and then drive there and then blow them up.
Yeah, no.
But, I'm going to have to give it the 2 out of 10 because
That's fair.
It's really shit, but there's that 2 there is A, guilty pleasure, and B, the little talent that's trying to echo its way out, but it's being squandered by the producers, what I'm
And
assuming.
C, the actually fun puzzles.